Hi, it is Wednesday. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. This is Charlotte at Charlotte's So Natural, and I am here in the room where we have the 1930s reproduction fabrics, because today I'm talking about auditioning fabrics. And we came out with a new pattern. We didn't come out with it. We just received a new pattern called Grandmother. It's a new pattern from Villa Rosa Designs, and it uses 40 10-inch squares, a yard of orange, a yard of what they're calling blue, and some binding. So it's a easy little quilt, 60 by 75 inches, that would be fun to do. So we have a 10-inch square of Robert Kaufman. These are Darlene Zimmerman's Aunt Ella's Butterflies. So this is a reproduction. This is the complete collection in 10-inch squares. So there are some duplicates, and then there are singles. So you aren't quite sure what you're getting in here. And the start of the pattern says to pair, make 20 pairs of squares. So obviously, looking at it, probably having some contrast, although they're doing low contrast. And so anyway, I'm like going, well, how is this gonna work? So I start by opening it up, and I just started pulling some together and pairing them. And pretty soon I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, you know, I have some 1930s reproduction quilts that I really, really like at home. And so here is one of them. This is one of my favorites. This is actually great news. This is Darcy Ashton's pattern, and this book has been out of print. This is called, I think it's called Grandmother's Bunnies. And it has been out of print for a number of years, but Darcy just let me know that she's reprinting a few, and we have those coming. They should be here later this week, and they are, they'll be available in the mid-20s. I think it's $22, $23, $24 book. I'm not positive anymore. But anyway, so you can see this has a cute little four patch and has just little corners are taken off, and I just love this quilt, and I love all the different fabrics that are used in there. So I thought, well, that's a good guidance. I liked that really well, so maybe I could do something on this order. So I like the black with the setting off. Here's another quilt top waiting to be quilted that I like really well, where I've got a black accent in, again with all the sort of scrappy look to it. So I started looking at this when I started pairing it up, and I brought out a black piece to use for these little triangles that you can barely see. I don't even know if you can catch this in with the camera, but this is a square, there it is, a square with the four corners nipped off. And I thought, I'm going to bring out a black and white polka dot. So I actually found one that was kind of similar, and I had that out there. And several of the staff walked by and said, yeah, they thought that was popping too much. So I bowed to them. I said, that's fine, let's play with something else. So we kept looking, and so today I just want to talk to you about the importance of auditioning fabrics. So at the moment that black is kind of off. We're looking at some other things, but I'm still keeping that foremost in my mind. So one of the other things I know is that I like it best when there is a solid fabric with it, with the 1930s prints, which can be kind of busy. But to me, this was like a little much. Like, I thought you're missing the joy of the prints by having that one big orange jumping out. So again, just my taste. This is great, but my taste goes a different direction. So again, I'm just auditioning those. So I did think, well, let's look at the orange. So here are some oranges, and you can see that that would be kind of fun. And then here is your typical 1930s. So this is a little bit more like what, and let's get rid of this yellow just jumping out at the front there. But there are a lot of different colors in here, including the red. But pull this red out here. That pulls out more of those. So just, you have to pretty much play with these to see what direction you want to go. So we pulled out and thought, what if we don't do that orange, because it kind of overpowers it. What if we brought out the white and just did the white in place of the orange? Well, that's a totally different looking quilt. The green is going to really jump out then, and the white will probably recede, just the opposite of this one. So I don't know if that's really the look we're going for. So then we thought about reversing it. And then came out with another one here. We thought, hey, what about that? So what if that is the center, and then this is the outside? Then we have these, and these are making the 9 patches. So you can start seeing that. And we thought, well, maybe this is not good. Maybe we want to do this, that light green, but that, nah, I don't like that. We can get rid of that. So anyway, anything else? There's all kinds of other things here, but I'm sort of interested in this look. So I think that I will just start by, instead of taking a whole lot of this, I think I'll start with a 1/4 of a yard. And we sell 1/4 yard cuts. Online we don't. Online we sell 1/2 yard cuts. But if you really want to audition something like this, and you want to order a fat 1/4 or order a 1/4 yard, call and say what you're doing and why you want a smaller piece, and we usually can accommodate you. So with the 1/4 yard cut, I can cut 8-inch squares from this, and using my 8-inch, because sometimes you just have to do it to see if it's going to work. And some of you know I can easily cut things that are on my table, like I did on Saturday. So there are 2 squares. So now I can cut that. These, I believe, are 3-inch, so I'll cut a, if I have a 1/4 of a yard of that, I can cut 3 3-inch strips. And I have enough then to make a few of this unit, which will make me able to do a little bit more justice to whether I like this with all the pieces. And I'm seeing it more in a scale that it would be in the quilt. And so I'm starting to like this, and I can see how this is going to be a good answer, a happy medium between the two things that I like about 1930s reproduction quilts, and that's where I put the solid, but also where I have something a little more interesting, but not quite that strong. So anyway, have fun auditioning your quilts, and I recommend doing that before you create a whole big quilt and then think, gee, I wish I hadn't done that. So anyway, have a great rest of your week.